Nomadism is a social system that involves a cyclical, constantly moving change of habitation. It is a way of life followed by numerous people groups across the globe, and has been a primary mode of living for 99% of human history. Nomadism comes in three general flavours: hunter-gatherer nomads, pastoral nomads, and tinker-trader nomads, and for today's ideological exercise, we will be looking at all three. As fascinating as nomadism may be, as an ideology there isn't much to show for it, which is the part where we introduce our historical wildcard. Khanism combines pastoral and tinker-trader nomadism with a dash of imperialism. In a social order similar to tribalism, we see the supreme tribe leader, or Khan, govern over a Khanate, a state area where their people cyclically move throughout. A nation under Khanism sees its wealth through trade, and given that the steppe is about as barren as it gets, raiding is a surefire way to get rich quick and go from sheepskin to silk in less than a lifetime. Of course, the success of Khanism came from the easy transport provided by horse riding, and given that the Porcelain People have no such advantage, this should prove an interesting outcome as they adopt this new ideology. The timeline ensues. On a day like any other, a handful of traders arrive in the Republic of Porcelain with a cart full of goods. But it's quiet. Too quiet. They move inwards, looking for any sign of life, and find that not only the town, but the entire Republic is empty. They look on to the horizon and see the dust settle in the distance. For the first time in 700 years, the Porcelain People have left the river valley and have moved onwards to find new land to roam through. They bring all their supplies in handcarts and hunt what they can on their way, but they never truly leave their home behind. They hold on to their traditions and art, and with every stretch of land they pass, they plot it down on parchment paper. They roam west for 30 kilometers, reaching a glacial lakeside surrounded by hills. Around them are strange creatures, goats and horses, who prove to be just as nomadic as they are. When the lake freezes over in the winter, the porcelain nomads prepare to move out westward, but the goats and horses take a different path. Enticing them over with warm fireplaces and handfuls of grass, the Porcelain People are able to take their food source with them. Now, no matter where they go, roast ungulate is never off the menu. Decades pass as the nomads cyclically move between the lakeside and lowlands, and with every few years, they find the goats and horses around them to be more and more docile, to the point where they can have their goats carry their supplies for them. On the topic of transport, they wonder if they can do the same with horses, which show far greater athletic potential than goats. And after a few years of trial and error, they soon have a faster means of transportation than they could ever hope for. And with faster transportation comes ease of exploration. The world that the Porcelain People know broadens, and it becomes clear that they are not alone in these new lands. South of the lowland plains, beyond a wall of forest, they find a completely new civilization known as the Flats. While their language, architecture, and art baffles them, they are more than happy to do some raiding for the odd bit of loot. The Flats are unable to retaliate due to the geographic barriers that protect the porcelain nomads. It doesn't take much time for the porcelain nomads to discover another new civilization nearby. Intersecting the main river, the Minnow are in a constant state of war with the Flats. The porcelain nomads, seeing this conflict, decide to take advantage and begin trading their loot to the Minnow. This improves when gold is discovered around the lake. Soon enough, the porcelain nomads begin attaching gold to their loot and make an even greater profit. While without a home, the porcelain nomads enjoy a comfortable life and become good allies with the Minnow. The Flats, understandably annoyed by this, extend their borders to the lowland plains, preventing the porcelain nomads from reaching the Minnow. They ramp up their defences and force the porcelain nomads to spend their winters elsewhere. As the 100th year approaches, the Porcelain People, regardless of their current lifestyle, know that they must follow their tradition, and they send their elders on a pilgrimage back to their old home in the river valley to choose a new ideology for them to follow. But when the elders arrive, they find a strange new people in the land that was once theirs. It was expected that the hillside colony would eventually absorb their abandoned republic, but the people here speak a completely unfamiliar language. It turns out that, roughly 250 years ago, their ancestors had violently repelled a group of seafaring traders, and while the Porcelain People were gone, they had returned with a vengeance and conquered every single nation on the west of the river, leaving only the Copperfields people. The elders sneak in at the dead of night and reach the rubble that was once their sacred temple. Performing an age-old ritual, they once again access the realm of the YouTube comment section. There, The highest minds can choose a new ideology for the Porcelain People to follow, and the ideology with the most likes will be used for the next 100 years, greatly affecting the lives of the Porcelain People. So what ideology should they follow next? You decide.